Now, do you shy away from fishing in the winter months? Well, I'm going to show you in this video how you can use corn and these bombs to the most effective way of putting fish in your net on the bank. Whether it's big carp, smaller F1s, smaller carp, this method is deadly, but also so simple. Anyone can do it and catch fish, which is what it's all about. So if you want to check it out, keep watching this video and you'll learn all about it and see if I can catch a nice big winter carp for you. Right, so I'm going to run you through the setup which you need for sort of this winter carp fishing. It's next to nothing. People shy away from it, but for me, it's probably the best thing to do in winter. You can have your flask, you can sit there nice and comfy, but you're only targeting 2 or 3 fish, or sometimes even 1 fish. So the setup is dead simple. Anyone can do this. Really nice and easy. I've literally got a 10-foot Superior X. Now, the reason why I'm not using my super light is because there is some big fish in here, up to say probably £20 plus, because it is renowned here at Hampton. Alice Lake is for the carp anglers, but we've come on fishing for carp, obviously, so we've got to respect that. We want to fish like nice balanced tackle. We don't want to fish too light and get bottomed out and broke and damage the fish. So nice balanced tackle for what you're fishing. If you're fishing for F1s and smaller carp, I'd look to use the super light, but I've got the Superior X just in a 10-foot version. I'm not chucking too far. It's probably 35 metres max where I'm chucking today. And I've just got a Centris SD reel. Now, I've got 8 pound mainline on that. You may think that's brutal for this time of year, but I just like the robust of it. I don't want it grating on stuff. There's brambles, there's everything, there's rocks under the water. I just want a nice robust mainline. It's not going to let me down. I don't have to worry about all that. And then the setup for this is really, really simple. I've just got a literal snap link swivel, and then a stopped, I can never say that, never get it right in my fingers, stopped on the line, and then just a tiny little piece of a twizzle boom, not twizzle too much, just so it kicks away. You see that there? My bomb is not going to tangle with anything, because on the back of it, just hold it there, my hook length starts just about probably half an inch below my bomb, so nothing's going to tangle. And then I've just got a 12-inch hook length of 019, 16 kkm, and a little speed stop there, so we can have we're fishing with corn today, dead simple side tray, and I have a bit of punch meat if we need it. But I think single or double corn is going to be the one. Just put them on the hair rig, so you've got a nice big hair. Now don't be shy of having the hair quite big. Now if you need to, you can wrap it round. That's a little trick you can do to shorten it. If anything else, you can just have it there. Now, so you can see it nice and kinks off there. You can also put bread on, stuff like that. So when you're carp fishing, I think hair rigs are really important, just because it gives you a really good hook hold, and you know your bait's intact and on the bottom. Like I said, if you're fishing for 1 to 3 fish, or a few more than that, depending where you go, then you want to make sure, you want to be confident that everything on the bottom is ready fishing, that little trap set, and then fish come along and pick it up is nice and easy. But the bomb, I forgot to mention that, itself, it just slides on there, it's free running, so anything, if you did crack off or lose your thing, the fish is not going to be trailing around the bomb. And then I like a heavy bomb in my fishing, so I've got on here a 30-gram bomb, just because I like a heavy bomb. Now, the reason why I've got a cube is I don't know whether I'm chucking on ledges and stuff where I am, so that just sits a little bit nicer than a round bomb on a ledge. It won't slide around and slide down. It sort of like lands on the bottom, because it's got flat sides, it anchors on itself. Now, a lot of people like lighter bombs. I just like a heavier bomb, because I feel like when the fish picks up the bait, it's obviously going to bolt effect against that bomb, and it sets the hook a little bit better, in my opinion. That's all my opinion. Sometimes people like a little bit lighter bomb because they feel like it doesn't scare the fish as much. But how we're going to fish today is I'm going to try and sort of like manipulate an area where I'm going to make a bit of commotion in one place, and hopefully the fish drift off to where the most likely looking spot is, and I'm going to try and attack them in that area. That's the little plan. Whether it works or not, we'll have to see in the video. So let's get on the box, let's get chucked out and see if we can catch one of these nice winter carp here at Hampton. Right, so we've gone through the setup now, so I'm just going to get my rig loaded so we can get it into the lake and try and catch one of these carp. So you've seen it's dead simple setup. Now what I'm going to do, I've got a bit of meat with me, like I said, and I've got some corn as well. So I'm just going to put a nice big bit of corn on. Nice big juicy bit of corn, F1 corn this one. Nice big bit there, it's a big kernel. Now, what I'm thinking is, I'm trying to take that out of my mouth, is obviously we've got a few hours to fish here, and I'm just going to try and target two or three fish. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to chuck to the most obvious place where I think the carp live, and that's a nice big bay at the back there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck up this side here, just for now, just because I feel like a bit of commotion early on might push them fish into that area to the right. So I'm just going to have a couple of chucks to me straight in front of me, and then if I need to, I feel like I'm not having a bite or not had a line or anything, I'm going to start to chuck over there. But what I want to do is try and gather them fish over there. I don't want to go straight into the main bit straight away, and if they are a bit spooky and we're fishing for like 3 or 4 fish, say, if they are really big fish, because we are on the Carp Lake, then that's what I'm thinking. So I'm just going to chuck it up the side of them reeds. Not got a clip on, so I've just chucked it in the side of them reeds. Now I'm just going to take my drag off a little bit, and I'm going to put it on my rest. Got my bite cam on. Now what I'm going to do as well is I've got a little stopwatch, just so I'm just going to do like 10-minute cast just to see what sort of like bite time we're going to get. Obviously if we get slacken that off a little bit. If we get in that quick response and we're getting bites after like 3 or 4 minutes, I can always shorten it down. But if we're getting bites like say 8.5 to 10 minutes, then maybe I need to leave it a little bit longer, but it just depends on what we're doing. So that's what I'm thinking. We're going to have a little chuck, try and catch one of these carp. Could be, I don't know what size fish we're fishing for. Could be £3, could be anything up to £20. You're not really sure. Watching this lake, I haven't fished it for years, but it's obviously the Carp Lake here at Hampton. So we've just got a nice simple setup, nice and robust as well, so we can deal with all them fish from any sizes. And then what we're going to do is try and work out and try and, this is the one thing about a nice little winter session here, especially if it was like a little pleasure session, is to literally, like, I'm just targeting 2 or 3 fish. I don't want to just go in and get one a chuck. I'd love to get one a chuck, but we're not trying to build a peg up where I think you've just got single hook baits. We've got a bit of meat, bit of corn. I can take my time. I can leave it 10 minutes or so, just depends what time we're going to get a bite. So I can leave it depending on that. I can have a little chuck about, try and find the fish, and hopefully we get stuck into a few. So it's going to be a bit of a long haul process trying to find a few fish, but obviously we'll try and get stuck into it, get a bit of action for you, and try and get some of these carp on the bank and show you what we've caught in these winter conditions, how simple it can be. So let's concentrate on the fishing and try and get one in the net. Sorry to pull you away from the video while I'm waiting to try and catch one of them carp, but I'm going to show you how simple the hook length is to make. Hairish can be quite confusing to people, and I want to make this video about being as simple as possible and getting people on the bank in the winter months trying to catch these carp, because it's such an exciting way of fishing, but it's dead easy and often overlooked. So all you're going to need is some line. I've got some power line, 019, nice and strong, so it's going to cover us anything from probably 3, average fish from like £3 up to like 15, 16, maybe even bigger if they have the chance of that. So that's what I've got, some 019 power line. I've got some KKM size 16 hooks, and I've got some hair stops. So this is going to be what you're going to use to stop and put your bait on the line. Obviously I'll show you how to do that in a minute, but what's important about making your hook length up so you can get it nice and right. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one of these hair stops off. You get them on like a little bit, just take one off, just spin it off and it comes off. So just put it back in the packet. Now first of all, you're going to take some line. Don't bite anything off yet, but one thing and tip I want to do, I've actually forgot my little scissors, but got some worm scissors, is snip the line just so it makes it nice and clean, so it goes through nice and easily. The last thing you want is to make it harder for yourself. So there's a little hole on the line just below the spike bit, and you're going to literally line it up, go through, try and get it through, all fingers and thumbs. There you go. I thought that wasn't going to work then. So it's gone onto the line there. Now all I do is simply just make an overhand loop. So just pull the lines together. So there's like a big loop there, and literally just turn it over. So you create a little loop in the line. So you create a little loop in the line. So just push it together. You see, like, it makes like a balloon shape in the line. Then just literally get the stop and just pull it through. Now, depending if you are fussy, depending on what length you want, you can get like a stop. I don't think I've got one here. If Jack, my glamorous assistant, in front of me, top drawer. Ta-da! Here we are. So on this loop tyre device, you've got like 15mm, 10mm, 8mm, 12mm. So I'm just going to do it about 15mm because I want to get either double corn on, big piece of meat, or I want to get 2 pieces of corn on, depending on that. I want a nice long hair rig. So what you can do is just put it on the top, makes it nice, pull it down so it's nice and tight. Obviously, get your scissors, obviously a bit smaller than what I've got. We are sat on the bank doing it. It's hard to do with worm scissors, there's actually two prongs to look at. Oh. There we go, just put that in the tub. So now, depending on how long you want the hair, how long you want your rig, so sometimes you might want a 4-inch for your method feed efficiency, you probably do that much. But with this, I don't want it too long, I don't want like a 3-foot one. I just want like a nice 12-inch, so we're just going to snip it about there. Just rough, so that's probably a little bit more than 12-inch. And then you're going to get your hook, which is an eyed version. You need an eyed version just so the line goes through the... So you can do a knotless knot on it. They all stick together. So you've got the eyed version there. So what you want to do is you put your line through the back of the hook. Or back... sorry. Line through the back of the eye at the top of the hook. Then you can pull it down. So now... you can manipulate where you want your knot. So you can have it at the top if you have a small little hair piece there. Probably ideal for probably a smaller piece of corn, but I want a double piece of corn, so I'm just going to put it further down. All you're going to do is whip the line round so it wraps around nice and even. So it's going down the hook, and what you'll do, you'll trap that hair in, or the line, or down the back. So probably just do it enough just so it goes behind the knot. And literally get the line, put it back through the back, keeping everything nice and tight so doesn't all unravel. And I just like to wet it just to make sure. Take it off my finger, pull it tight, and you can see there I've got a nice hair rig, nice double loop or double piece of line, so it's nice and strong, nice hair rig. And then obviously I can put it in my hook length box or just put it onto a thing. So obviously I've got it on my little box here. Get everything out of the way. If I wanted a foot hook length, I can get that. Obviously put it there. I can pull it down. Obviously that'd be perfect. I've just tied an overhand. I just like a little overhand loop just to there. It's still nice and strong. And then you've got, oh, it caught in my side. Then you've got, so you just pull it down there. Obviously, you've checked it on your line, the size you want. Just a nice little overhand, simple knot. Get your knot puller or your loop tyre. Just pull it nice and tight. Make sure there's nothing overhanging. Nip the end off, and you've got a nice hook length there. So obviously, get ready to put your corn on, or your piece of meat, or even bread, anything like that, or a nice soft pellet as well. You can just put it on there, and you're ready to go. That's how simple it can be. Right, we're coming up to 9 minutes on this cast now. We've had 2 or 3 casts with not anything, any sign indication, so just had a little cast just in the middle there, not right in the bay, just in the middle a little bit. But I'm going to just chuck back up that side of that reed bed again in a minute. Just want to have a little chuck again, but just tried a piece of meat there. But the strange thing is we've not had any signs indications, so for me it feels like the carp aren't moving around, so it's just a case of keep on chucking around, and then you might find a little ball of fish that are willing to feed. Now the only fish we've seen top have been the other side of this island here, so what I might thinking is they might be travelling around the island there. So my best bet for the minute is maybe this left hand line, and obviously if I make them a bit more commotion and do hook a few fish, it might send them a few that way. But just got to keep plodding round, keep trying to find a few fish. But I'm going to put, I think, another piece of corn and just chuck it up the side of this bush here again. Just feel like might be the best chance of a bite at the minute, just because I feel like there's a lot of water to that right there, and I haven't chucked it straight in the bay. I've just chucked it in the open water just on the off chance there's any fish lingering around there, but nothing at the minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back, just have a little chuck over there. But thought I'd update you. Like I said, we're only fishing for a few fish. We're not fishing for loads, and they could be big as well. So just take that piece of meat off, chuck it back in there. Get me a little stop. Nice big bit of corn, just so it's nice and visual on the bottom. Make sure it's sat right in the hair rig. Push that back in there. So we're just going to have a little chuck to the... You start my watch again. Start that in a second. Re-chuck to the left here. Slide to the left. Give that another 10-minute chuck. And what I'm doing as well, I'm not putting my tip like really tight, because I've got a nice heavy bomb on still, 30 gram, just so I can get out there. But I don't want to put loads of tension in my tip, because I feel if any fish swim towards it, they could feel it, spook off and not want to come into that area. So I just want just enough, just to take the tension out of my line, so my line's just at the minimum it can be to the tightness to my tip. The last thing I want is like arced over like I do in summer, because I feel like I don't think the fish are feeding that sort of way, that aggressiveness. I just feel like they come down, pick that single hook bait up, and obviously you get your bite that way. A lot of it is like a slow nod movement when you do get your bites on this sort of like winter style fishing, as where the summer it's like a proper wrap round, because the fish obviously come down, pick your bait up and swim off dead fast. But with this, it's like they try and get rid of the hook because they're a little bit dormant and stuff. So that's how it's going at the minute. We've not had anything. We had 3 or 4 chucks, so probably 40-50 minutes into the little session we've had. But so just got to chuck around, try and find some fish. If we do get some signs and indications, maybe focus on that area a little bit more. But like I say, I haven't chucked everywhere. I've just had a little chuck twice up this left hand side, once in the bay, and I'm going to chuck back up. I've just had a chuck back up that left hand bank there. So say go a little bit further if we need to, go a little bit further into the bay. There's still loads of options, so we're still persevering with it. So we'll come back hopefully when that tip's flying round, we've got a nice carp on. Now I'm going to simply show you how I put my bait onto my hair rig, nice and simple. So on the end of your spike there, you've got literally a spiky end and you've got an end with a hole. So you're going to need a bait up tool just so it fits in there nicely. So what you do is you slide your bait up tool into there, and it keeps everything nice and tight. Now whether you want a single piece of corn or a double piece of corn, that's what I'm going to be showing you how to put on today. It's up to you. So I'm going to do the single piece first. So literally I'm going to use obviously the squishy end. You want to keep the hard end for the back of that thing. So you just literally slide it in there, get to the back, comes through the back side of it. So then now your corn is sat obviously with the stop at the back, obviously nice and close to your hook. Dead simple, of a single piece of corn fishing. Now if you want a double piece, pull that off. Literally same again, put your little bait up tool in the back of the hole at the back of the hair rig. I always like to try and find 2 flat bits there, normally about the same size as well, just so it looks nice as well on your hair rig. So you just want to literally push it through the flat bit of your corn. So that's 1 on there. So nice and same again, 2 on there. You can pull it down so everything sits nice and flush. It's got caught on the edge. Sits nice and flush. You can see on there 2 pieces of corn. Dead simple. Obviously, your hook's nice and close. So that 12 centimetres, not 12 centimetres, 12 millimetres. 12 centimetres, massive. 12 millimetres is literally nice for them 2 pieces of corn. Obviously, you imagine that sat in the bottom. It's just a nice visual hook bait for them carp to come in, visualise on and pick up. That's all you're looking to sort of do with this fishing, is like trying to target fish. You're not trying to create a bed of feed where fish is just either fish passing through, or they come to the noise of the bomb coming in, or they just see a visual hook bait, they come down and investigate, and because they're nosy they'll suck it in, and obviously that's how you catch your fish. So that's how you put your corn on your hair rig. Dead simple, really effective. Right, so we've got one that has been in That's been in just under 10 minutes, that one now. I can't believe that's actually gone round. We've had a few chucks there. So we've had a few chucks. I thought my GoPro had gone off then, but it's my stopwatch. Had a few chucks over that other side, bit further in the bay. Not a bite. And literally just chucked in. Just chucked in to that left-hand point again, just in the middle of like no man's land. And we've only gone and got one, which is nice. Sun's going down, so got to be really careful with this now because it doesn't go around that aerator. Because I'm like a bit of a bay here. That's what it actually used to be called, this peg, is like the bay peg. Not many matches were fished on here, but this is well renowned for carp. I remember Dean Barlow actually catching a massive weight in a winter league once on a method feeder. And you can see why. Such a nice peg, but I think this is going to be the only bite we're going to get today, but at least if it's going to be one, make it a nice one. Yeah, that's a mega fish, that. Look at that. Woohoo! I'll tell you what, I didn't actually think we were going to get one. I thought it'd be quite hard to... Oh, I should have put me over net, but I thought it was going to be quite hard to actually get a bite today. But that is a proper winter carp. Big old warrior. Tell you what, I'm going to get me... No, I'm trying to hold him up. Oh. Winter carp, look at that. Nice big, long common. That is awesome, that. It's got to be easily 11, 12 pound, that fish, but look at that. That's what it's all about. Simple tactics, next to no bait. Nice balanced tackle. This fish is freezing, but look at that. Hopefully it's glistening in the winter colours. So get out there with minimal bait, a nice simple setup. You can catch great fish like this one. So I'm going to slip him back, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.